Hi everybody, I wish I could be there in person, but I want to reminisce about one of the most remarkable days of my life. A tornado that certainly put CARE on the map. Suddenly CARE was a credible news source, and it's because we lucked out. Max Mesmer and Sky 11, the pilot, and Tom Empey were on their way to another story. The tornado forms unexpectedly. There were no watches, no warnings in effect at the time. There was so much instability that this tornado developed right over the Springbrook Nature Center, and unlike most tornadoes that move at 30 miles an hour, this thing was nearly stationary. It sat right over the park. In the helicopter, they had something called a gyro zoom lens. It was a new invention, and it allowed photographer Tom Empey to zoom in and have very smooth video. I was scared to death that a piece of debris, a tree limb, would fall through the rotor blades, and I kept pleading with Max on the air, keep a safe distance. He was within about a quarter to a half a mile away from this thing. At one point, Paul Majors says, "Where are you, Max?" Max had no idea where he was, so he took the helicopter down to treetop level and read a street sign to find out where he was. Then he lifted back up into the air and resumed coverage. He got into a little bit of trouble with the FAA on that one. My big fear was this thing moving into neighborhoods in Brooklyn Park. It was really hard to tell. There was no Doppler radar at the time. We had an old-fashioned radar, but this thing was virtually stationary, and I remember being in awe. You could see entire trees getting pulled out like weeds. Usually to get a tornado you need wind shear, different wind speed and direction as you rise up through the atmosphere, and instability. We didn't have any wind shear. It was 91 degrees, dew point 80, but we had extreme instability. The air shot straight up over Brooklyn Park and developed this miraculous tornado. Nobody was injured, nobody was killed. Yes, the damage at Springbrook was extensive, but it really was a best case scenario. It was almost like this tornado wanted to be photographed. It was posing for the camera. And a couple of days later at the Aquatennial Parade, they actually loaded Sky 11 with Max and Tom on a float, and they got a standing ovation in downtown Minneapolis. The coverage was amazing, and scientists have been looking and analyzing this data for the past 25 years to get a better understanding of how tornadoes develop, the inflow, the rotation, the circulation. So it's been a treasure trove of information for scientists. Once in a lifetime experience, amazing memories. It was a surreal day. Make it a great afternoon. May you have a tornado-free rest of the summer.